The hollow reel. Claire adjusted the last of the couch cushions and collapsed into Devon's arms, both of them sweating and dusty from hauling boxes all day. The October breeze drifted through the open window, carrying the faint scent of fallen leaves and something sweet, pumpkin maybe. They'd moved to Hollow Glen on a whim, fleeing the gray bustle of the city for peace and space. The neighborhood was picturesque. Rows of identical craftsman houses stood like painted miniatures. Children rode bikes past porches stacked with carved jack-o'-lanterns, the kind of place where Halloween decorations went up in September. They were still catching their breath when the doorbell rang. Devon answered it. Standing there was a tall man in his 60s, silver hair swept back like a talk show host from the 70s. He wore a plaid sweater vest and held a ceramic pumpkin dish filled with bread. "Welcome to Hollow Glen," the man said. "I'm Robert Langford, across the street. Figured you two could use something warm." Claire came up behind Devon, smiling. "That's so kind of you." Langford handed over the pumpkin dish. "We throw a Halloween party every year. It's tradition. Big thing around here. Everyone comes." Devon nodded. "Sounds fun. Costume party." Langford's eyes twinkled. "Of course. Old horror movies this year. Real monsters. We like to keep it authentic." In the days leading up to Halloween, the neighborhood only grew more surreal. Children in vintage clown costumes rode tricycles up and down the block after dark. A woman 2 doors down constructed a full-size guillotine on her front lawn. At night, strange music echoed faintly, scratchy records playing ragtime waltzes or eerie theremin tunes. Claire spotted Langford several times, always outside, always watching. "He's probably just friendly," Devon said. But even he didn't sound convinced. On Halloween night, Claire dressed as a flapper, complete with a sleek bob wig, long cigarette holder, and dripping strings of pearls. Devon went as a classic vampire, his cape trailing dramatically. Langford's porch was the most elaborate on the block. Real flames danced inside iron lanterns. The air smelled like melted wax and cloves. As they stepped up, the door creaked open before they knocked. Langford stood in the entryway, grinning. "You made it." They stepped inside and froze. The living room had been transformed into a Gothic parlor. Heavy velvet curtains draped the walls. Mannequins in torn tuxedos and blood-stained gowns stood frozen in dancing poses. Tables were stacked with old film reels, dusty gramophones, and bowls of wax fruit. And the guests, if they were guests, moved stiffly. Costumes were elaborate, too elaborate. Pale skin, yellowed bandages, rotting flesh. Claire spotted a man in a Nosferatu mask, but the elongated fingers twitched. The witch by the fireplace had one cloudy eye and a jagged scar from cheek to temple. Devon leaned in. "These costumes are amazing, but they're freaking me out." Langford clapped his hands. "Everyone, let's begin." The lights dimmed. A projector whirred to life, casting flickering light on a white sheet pinned to the wall. The first reel was an old black and white film, showing a young couple entering a house that looked exactly like Langford's. The couple laughed, drank, danced. The partygoers closed in, then screaming. Blood. Static. The next reel was footage of Claire and Devon, taken just minutes earlier, walking across the street, stepping onto the porch. Claire stood. "Okay, this isn't funny." The guests turned. Devon grabbed her hand. "We're leaving." But the front door was gone. Where there had been a hallway, now stood another mannequin, a woman in a flapper dress, mouth stretched open in a silent scream. Her face looked exactly like Claire's. The witch spoke. Her voice was dry and papery. "You were invited. You accepted." The projector flashed red. Claire ran toward the hallway, past the mannequins, searching for an exit. Every turn brought her deeper into impossible rooms. A decaying theater filled with rotting seats. A nursery with mobile shadows spinning overhead. A black corridor lined with mirrors, each one showing reflections that didn't match their movements. Devin wasn't behind her anymore. She called his name. No answer. Only Langford, standing at the far end of the corridor. He raised a film reel in one hand. Everyone plays a part. She woke up on a floor soaked in candle wax. Her costume was torn. Her pearls were gone. Langford stood above her, flanked by the witch and Nosferatu. "You don't remember yet," he said softly. "But you've done this before." Claire's throat was raw. "Where's Devin?" He tilted his head, playing his role. She crawled back, but behind her, only mirrors. Dozens of them. In one, she saw herself in a different dress. In another, her skin was cracked porcelain. In a third, she wore Langford's face. "You're part of the real now," Langford said. "You're archived." The mirrors began to pulse. Each one flashed scenes of other couples, other Halloweens, decades of parties, always the same faces playing different roles. Claire screamed as her reflection smiled back. The next day, a young couple stood with a realtor on the same porch. "Perfect starter home," she said. "Lovely neighborhood. Everyone's very involved, especially around Halloween." Across the street, Robert Langford waved. Claire stood beside him. Her face looked perfect. Her eyes didn't blink. Make sure to like and subscribe for more stories.